Let's talk about one of the most delicate and surprisingly common real estate situation. You're ready to sell your home, but your spouse or sibling is absolutely not. Take a breath. You're not alone. And more importantly, this can be resolved. As somebody who has been in the trenches, I can attest that selling a home when one spouse or sibling is hesitant isn't just about real estate. It's about communication, timing, and a little strategy with a side of patience. So let's dive right in. Let's think about the why behind the no. A refusal to sell usually isn't about the house. It's about what the house represents. For one person, it might be emotional attachment, like memories, nostalgia, milestones, or a fear of change, of the unknown. Or perhaps financial concerns, interest rates, affordability, or what if we can't find something better? And sometimes it's about timing, career or school. Think of it like this. You're ready to upgrade your car and you're still emotionally attached to your old car, which carries a bundle of emotions and memories. It's not logical, it's personal. So ask questions rather than make arguments. Help me understand what worries you most about selling. Goes a lot further than we need to sell right now. Here is where logic can gently enter the chat. In Los Angeles, for instance, home values, equity positions, and market timing can impact your financial calculus. So a clear fact-based breakdown often helps neutralize emotions. Elements such as current home values versus purchase price, estimated equity gain, cost of selling versus staying, and imagining what your next home realistically looks like. Sometimes one spouse or sibling imagines selling as a downgrading, where in reality it could mean upgrading lifestyle, location, and financial situation. In such a case, this is where a third party, a real estate agent for instance, doesn't just sell homes, then translate market data into real life decisions that make sense for both parties in the equation. You know, sometimes your spouse or sibling doesn't need you to explain it. They need an outsider, a neutral party. In my case, think of me as the Switzerland of your situation. Neutral, calm, and focused on facts. As a professional, I can provide an objective analysis, outline realistic timelines and outcomes, answer tough questions without the emotional baggage, and validate concerns without escalating conflict. And here's the magic. Hearing the same information from a third party often lands differently. If your spouse isn't ready to fully commit, I don't force a cannonball. I start with dipping a toe in the pool. For instance, getting valuation only, no commitment to sell, or light pre-listing prep, decluttering or minor updates, or tracking the market together for 30 or 60 days, or agreeing on a trigger point, price, timing, or life event. This approach lowers pressure and builds confidence, because sometimes the resistance isn't no forever. It is not yet. The straightforward reality is that in most cases, both spouses must agree to sell if jointly owned property is in question. If both names are on title, one person typically cannot sell the property without the other's consent. Exceptions exist depending on ownership structure, but those require professional legal guidance. If you're in a more complex situation, divorce for instance, it's essential to consult a real estate attorney alongside your agent. It's really about timing. Sometimes the disagreement is not if, but it's when. In such cases, timing matters. For instance, market cycles fluctuations, interest rates impact on buying power, inventory levels that affect your move. So find a compromise timeline. For instance, let's revisit in a couple of months, can turn a hard no into a collaboration plan. Selling a home isn't just a financial decision. In many ways, it's a life decision. So when one spouse or sibling isn't on board, the goal is to align and not just to win. Truly, the best real estate decisions happen when both people feel heard and informed. If you're navigating this situation and need a calm, experienced perspective without pressure, I'm always here to help you talk it through.